What's going on, guys? Chris here, welcoming you to the Alone Zone. I fully intended on making another video on another topic, but something caught my eye yesterday. My inspiration for this YouTube thing, Donnelly Miller, had made a post on Facebook, and Donnelly, seems to be doing well. The YouTube thing kind of like didn't go well for him after the Tosh.0 thing, which I hate. In my heart, that hurts me that he went through that ordeal. And as soon as when I watched that, God, I didn't watch his Tosh.0 segment until probably early last year. So that thing just, from the time I saw it, just the way he was treated and stuff just hurt my heart. It's just nice to know that he's still pushing through and he's still with us. But he made a comment, and in the comment he referred to one person that he's been talking with for a long time, known about for a long time in the community, who seems to be doing well, moving forward, achieving, and another person in the community that seems to still be in the same place. And I believe he was referring to me as the one that's still being in the same place. Now, if he was not, I apologize to Donnelly, but I think you were meaning me. And he was also mentioning how it feels like one guy seems to have more support than the other. Well, this other guy is Zach Yowell. He's called the captain. And I just wanted to get on here and say some things that are on me. Zach is an awesome person, and it is true that he gets more support, and more people like him. And the reason being, he is not as bad off as I am. He's more easier to talk to, more easier to relate with. He's easy, talk with on the phone. He can videotape. He can do all these things. For me, my only availability is making these videos and typing on the Facebook, email, or YouTube comment section. I do have a phone, but I've never been good at talking on the phone. For whatever reason, I've never liked talking on the phone. I guess, for me, I'm not a good conversation starter. I can sit here and make these videos because I'm sitting in my van, I got a topic I want to say, or whatever, and I can talk about it. But when it comes to, talking with someone directly in a room, which I don't have much experience with, or even on the phone, it's hard for me to start conversation. So I always had relied on other people to talk, and I'll just listen and chime in here and there. And I'm not an interesting guy. I'm very boring. I have a lot to say in these videos, but outside of my life and what I go through and my stories, I don't have really too much to talk about. So he's more easier to communicate with. He has more things available to him, which helps, which is why I talked about, in my current state, not mentally being able to work. Physically, I guess I can work. My mind, my mental status is just not right at this time. And I have held jobs in the past. There have been points in my life where things eased up. I wasn't so caught up in everything. But through more experiences, more bad times, more crap, I've gotten to the point where my mind just, the depression and anxiety has grabbed onto me so hard that I just don't think I can function in an official work setting at this time. And the last thing I want to do is somebody hire me and disappoint them because I'm so depressed I don't want to get out of bed and go to work. And that would happen at this stage of the game if I were to try to get a job. That's why this YouTube thing is something I want to do. Other jobs I could do at home, I don't know too much about. Again, I have a computer. I got it. It's probably a 2004 model Dell Optiplex computer, Optiplex 360, I believe, or something like that. But it's got Windows XP. It was a computer that was donated to a church from the library. And at the public library, their computers have administrative locks, so you can't, download certain things and mess up their computers. So that's the computer I got. I've had it all these years. And I have the administrative lock. So some programs I can download, some programs I cannot. When it comes to installing a web camera, I cannot install it because the administrative lock will not allow me to download drivers. Even if I had the installation CD, unless I can find a program or a webcam that does not require the administrative lock on it, which are rare. And okay, my option could be to wipe it clean and install a new Windows. I don't have money to buy a new Windows, so I'm not going to do that. And unfortunately for me, that's why it's very critical that I find a way to do something through this internet, this media, this YouTube, where I can get some people who think I'm a good guy, who think I might have potential, willing to help me get started. And then, I can start rolling forward and moving forward. See, even though I'm not a good conversationalist directly, if I start doing it more often on a regular basis, I'll get used to it and it will come easier to me. You don't know how bad I would love to video chat with people. Like I said before, I would feel like I'm in the same room with them, face to face. To me, it would be the closest thing to having real life friends, to just see somebody else and talk to them like that, even though we're not in the same room. And even though I'm a boring guy with not too much to talk about outside of my own issues, it would make me feel so better to know that I'm wanted that much, that somebody's willing to sit and be bored until I get used to the process. But I'm limited in what I can do. So yes, people support me via comments, but that's about it. I don't have much support outside of that. I don't have much interaction outside of a few comments here and there, and a few quick conversations here and there. So he is right. The other guy is moving on, moving forward. His issues weren't as deep rooted as mine, so it's easier for him. I'm not saying his road is easy, by no means, but it's much more easier for him to move forward. It's much more easier for people to like him and accept him. And so yes, I am the guy that's still stuck, and for the time being, and probably for the rest of my life, I'm gonna be stuck. And I really am exhausted mentally. I really am just tired. And I thought about it the other day. I went to a place and I was gonna record a video, but I just decided not to, and I may end up doing it. But it was at a place I went as a child. It's a Pensacola Bay rather. It's not the main beach. It's just a little place I used to go to as a kid. And even in my older years, when I was doing drugs and stuff, I would just go and sit there along the waterfront, because there's a lot of places you can go and just be serene and by yourself and not really have to worry about anybody else being there. So I went there the other day and I was thinking to myself, I don't really know how to swim all that great, so if I were to go out in that water and drown, no one would know I'm missing. My grandmother would, but she'd probably get the clue, hey, he finally got to that point where he couldn't take it anymore. So she probably wouldn't initially do anything, and plus she's going through her own health issues right now. She's been really sick, as you know. She had that stroke and she's still not doing all that great. But if I were to go into that water and drown, no one would even notice that I was gone. People on YouTube and Facebook and stuff would just think I'm taking another hiatus. And I seriously considered going in the water the other night, but I didn't. And I'm really at that point where if I were to die, my funeral would be one person, and that's my grandmother. There wouldn't even be a funeral for me. There wouldn't be a point to it. They would just throw me in a wooden box and put me underground. That's pretty much it. And I've already made it clear to my grandma, if I were to die before she did, to put on my tombstone, which is my favorite name, because I've always been, infatuated with the dark side and death and all that stuff. Because I've been depressed and sad, and that's what you think about. But I told her to put on my tombstone, Chris Strickland, 1982 to whatever, only wanted love, but love never found him, or something along that line. Something about me wanting to love, wanting to be accepted, and never being accepted. Because I want to make it clear that even though no one would ever come to the gravesite to look at it, if a wanderer by was just passing by and saw it, they would see, wow, this guy here went through life. I'd also put on there that, I was, no friends, only wanted love, never found it. And I haven't officially wrote what I would put on there, but somewhere along those lines, somebody would see it and say, wow, that must have been a pretty miserable life, because it was. and it is. There's so much. When you're in my position, when you have your issues that are as bad as my issues, that's why it's hard for me to talk with people, because no one is as bad off as me that I know of, you know, directly. You gotta understand. And I've explained this before, I have 0 real life friends. Every day is me alone, by myself, and it's been that way for a very, very long time. Most of the day I spend thinking about the past, all the bad things, because there's not a lot of happy memories going on, and there's nothing going on in my life currently to think about. So because of that, that's all I can think about, is what got me here. I cry on and off throughout the day. I get angry. I punch, I'll punch my table, I'll punch my dresser, I'll just punch something hard, to cause a little, even though I don't like physical pain, getting a little dinged up on my hand takes a little bit of the emotional pain away for a few minutes. And I'll play some video games to try to take my mind off things, and I'll try to find something to watch on TV. But throughout TV, I'll be reminded, because a lot of shows are about dating and love and this and that and this and that, and so I'll try to stay away from regular TV. So I'll try to find something to watch on Hulu or Netflix or Amazon or something. Basically, that's my life. I'll go get my medicine. I'll go walk around a store or something for a couple of hours, but I'll end up getting depressed because I see so many pretty girls, and I realize, God, I couldn't have any of them because of my current status. And even if I wasn't as bad off as I am, because I wasn't always this bad. Yeah, I was depressed, and yeah, I had issues, but they weren't this bad up until the last couple of years, when I started realizing a lot of things that were never going to happen. And continuations of bad experiences. To wake up every day is the same, lonely, alone. Something I'll see that'll trigger and get me upset. I'll cry here and there. I'll walk around a store and tear up just because of how fucking miserable I am. And I think, even though I don't like physical pain, I think that would be a good way to go out. Just going out into the ocean, even though it would hurt to run out of breath. If you know the place I was talking about, quiet, peaceful, serene, the water. I go there right at dusk when the sun's setting, when it's at its prettiest, and I would go in the water. It'd be calm, and I would just go. That's a peaceful way to go, and it might hurt because of, I'm gonna, it would be drowning myself, but I know nobody wants to hear this stuff, nobody likes it, but I'm just spitting the real truth, and that's what you've always gotten from my channel. You get my raw, real, uncut emotion, and that's how I feel, and that's where I was the other day, and I really considered going in that water, but something pulled me out. And so when Donley made that post, it really got me to thinking. The reason I'm still in this place is because it's so hard for people to understand how deep my problems are. And people in this world never. Yeah, I can get supportive comments here and there, but at the end of the day, no one in this world wants to know or be friends. No girl wants to give or even work on or even attempt to try to heal a man's broken heart that has been broken over and over and over, and understand that this man deep down inside may have a great soul, but he'll never get to experience life because of all his terrible experiences and the lack of positive, happy memories and the lack of chances given. No one is willing to invest the time to support and just be there for a guy like me. I am too far down. I am too bad off. That scares people away. People, it's an impatient society, and no one in this world is gonna take a guy with my status and and be willing to be there for him at every step of the way as he fights. Because the only thing, and I've said this in just about not every video, but most of my videos, the only thing that I've not had in this life is friendship and love. To have those things, to know that, I'm not talking about online, I'm talking about real life. Online friendship is completely different. Real life. Knowing that you've got people to call when I want to cry and I'm sad. Knowing that I can lean on somebody. Knowing that when I'm at my darkest time, when I was at that water the other night, it would have been so nice to know that if I called somebody and told them that, they would rush to the water's edge to come be by my side, to tell me, hey, no, Chris, this is not the answer. It would be so nice just to have company with me, someone that could ride next to me occasionally, walk around the store with me, hang out, just watch TV or something with me. To not have had that ever. You just can't understand what it's like. You just don't understand what it's like for a man who knew what he wanted at a young age was love, to have a family, that he knew how beautiful women were and how much it would mean to him to have a woman who would be willing to love him for him, marry him, provide him with a family, give him the honor and privilege of providing and taking care of that family. But because of sick, twisted women who had nothing better to do than hurt me, put me down, not even give me the time of day, no matter how I tried, no matter how much I did, they would just step all over me, put me down mentally, time and time again, to the point where this guy doesn't even know why the hell he wakes up every day. He's so lost. He doesn't know where to go, doesn't know where to turn. He's at his wit's end. I'm a human being. And like I said, I knew from an early age what I wanted was love. Why in the hell was love so hard? Why did love elude me all these years? And then now that everything is manifested into its current status, there's no pill, there's no amount of therapy that is going to help unless a miracle happens. And the miracle would be finding the rare person or persons in this world who sees a guy that could be much more. He's had a tough road. Not the toughest road, but has had a tough road based on his situation. And does not care. Doesn't care how. Understands, hey, there's going to be days when he doesn't want to be bothered, doesn't want to be talked to. Then there are those days when all he wants is that support, that love, that company. To know there are going to be times when he's going to be crying and sad and thinking about doing stupid things, but also knowing that through the support you can make him feel better and take his mind off of that stuff. So yes, this guy here is still stuck in the same place he was, and I've been stuck here for many years. And it's hard to understand if you've not been this bad. And so yeah, I'm spitting all this stuff out, but you have to be in my shoes to really know. So I'm gonna end it here. I've said enough. I've upset myself enough. This is as real, raw, uncut, emotional as you're going to get on YouTube. I don't pull no punches. I say what I feel. I'll sit here and admit that I was thinking about taking my own life. Not many people would do that, but yeah, I am. But there has to be a reason I'm here. And I'm gonna upload a picture. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna upload it to my Facebook page today. An interesting horoscope yesterday, which was Monday. And when I read this horoscope, it just, I couldn't believe it. And it's one of those things, you know, oh, I guess I shouldn't bear too much on astrology and stuff, but reading, once I upload and you guys see what I'm talking about, you'll understand why it upset me. Because I know it's not true. When I read something like that and how bad I would want it to be true, I know it's not. So, anyways, you guys will see it on my, check out my Facebook page. If you haven't, you know, the link's down there. So, again, I appreciate all the people online that have given me support. I appreciate all the people that do try to offer great encouragement and advice. That does mean a lot to me. You guys are awesome, all my subscribers, and the ones who directly, and the ones who have been there for some time with me. But just know, when I make a video like this, it's nothing to do with you guys. It's just my real surrounding life. My status is so bad off. And while I do enjoy the support I get, that's why I continue to do these videos, continue this stuff. It's what I want to do. You just gotta understand there's more needed for me. And that's why I started this channel almost 2 years ago. And it's so odd, here I am 2 years later and I still have not made a real life friend. That sucks. If you go back to my earlier videos, I talk about I'm starting this because in hopes to meet real life people. And yeah, I've met real people, but not in my actual circle. So anyways, that's it and that's all. You've been in my alone zone. The real, raw, uncut, emotional alone zone. Or a man who's been alone all of his life continues to struggle with no end in sight. It is time for us to part. So until next time, peace.